Doesn't it feel like the summer of love, aka the whole summer where BLM destroyed cities upon cities upon cities, which led to January 6th, is starting all over again? As I'm watching right now with Columbia University and other universities around the country like Yale, Columbia University is only going to remote learning now.
How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
Due to the protests that are all over the lawn. And no other than Ilhan Omar's own daughter is at the center of attention for this entire thing. Because, of course, you know, when you got to pick out your heroes.
Am I a hero? I really can't say, but yes.
And when I see this person, I see a hero. I see no other thing, no other resemblance than a hero. I just see a resemblance. I see a hero. And she's at the whole center of this thing, of course. And you know how MSNBC is with these types of people. They're just like, oh my God. Oh, can we interview this hot mess? I would love to put her on MSNBC and let her just start crying.
Jeez, that's terrible.
Apparently she was zip tied for a few hours. And not only that, she wasn't allowed to eat in the dining halls anymore. And because of not being able to eat in the dining halls at a school, she is calling herself homeless at this point.
Lay off me, I'm starving.
I don't think that makes you homeless. You can go home to mommy and daddy or uncle and get some help. That doesn't make you homeless. This is what these little commie kids are. They're just like, you're taking away my basic human rights by not allowing me to go to the lunch dining hall. This is insane. Let's check in on MSNBC because you know they should be lighting this up. Oh, they're talking about Trump and Jesse Waters today. If you get your news from MSNBC, you should probably stop at all costs. But here's this interview with Ilhan Omar's daughter. I bet her dad is super proud of her. Listen to this little ditty. Oh, I love these people so much. They're just actors. They're just paid actors at this point. Quit trying to call them commies. They don't even know what that word even means. And yes, they're probably acting like little commie kids, but they don't know what this means. Here we go.
Do other student groups have this kind of target on their back, or do you feel that you are being targeted because of the fact that it is in solidarity with Palestinians and against what Israel is doing to Palestinians?
Oh, this is 100% targeted. Every single protest that we have, there's a group of counter-protesters that bring all of their items, their flags and things like that, and they're not seen as having unsanctioned protests or really receive the kind of disciplinary warnings that many of our fellow organizers receive just for being seen at these protests.
It was like Antifa all summer long. Yes, they were firebombing like police stations and stuff like that and federal buildings, but like they were just the voice of the unheard.
Tests. And so there is definitely some hypocrisy here, especially you can kind of see it with the students that were sprayed us with the chemical weapons, and the fact that there's no public information as to what happened to them, but rather the university is actively discussing what is happening to the students here and making it a whole public spectacle, rather than when we haven't done anything to physically harm students, whereas those that sprayed those chemical weapons physically harmed students.
Right.
Do other student groups have this?
She is literally homeless at this point because she is kicked out of her school. Please pray for these Columbia University students. They have never felt hardship like this before. They now have to go out and potentially find a job. So what better time to start grifting off your new political career than to, force yourself out of your own job? Here's her. She's a junior. Even your junior year, you only have a few more years left to finally get the degree to work at MSNBC. She is like a little celebrity. Look at all these pictures. Oh my God, look at, she's everywhere. Can we make a photo of her? Look at, the one thing it is about these leftists and their protests is they are dirty. I mean, look at this. If they are worried about climate change, they're not acting like it. Look at all these flags. Who's going to come by and pick up all these flags? These flags could literally land in a turtle's neck, and no one cares except for Ilhan Omar. I'm enormously proud of my daughter. Her uncle and I are. She always led with courage and compassion, from organizing a statewide school walkout on her 20th anniversary of Columbine. She organized the walkout. God, our future is fun. It's going to be nonstop crap like this. The voice on the unheard. And people like genuinely mock Tim Pool for this whole Civil War thing. But if you are encouraging this with 15-year-olds, and then it's just going to get bigger and better because people are going to have more money, it's only going to get worse. To leading the biggest youth climate rally in our nation's capital. Well, if she cared about the climate, then she should definitely care about these Palestinian protesters. And now pushing her school to stand against genocide. Stepping up to change what can't tolerate is why we are a country. We have the right to speech, except if it's hate speech and it's pro-Trump. Then we need to shut it down immediately. And petition the enriched in our Constitution. You know, over the weekend, I saw this. And this picture of Tim Pool is a perfect example of this. Everyone was losing their mind at these politicians waving their Ukraine flags as they pass like a $61 billion funding of Ukraine. It's a loan. They're going to pay it back. Yeah, just like the student loans. Shut up. No one's paying anything back. People are freaking out about this. Is this a new concept to you that the Uniparty is here? Is this a new thing? I keep trying to say this in this program over and over again, and I know there's other programs that do the same, that these people hate you. These people don't care about you. If you are dying on the street and you are actually homeless, you're using drugs, you're using fentanyl on the streets, they will walk over your dying, decaying bodies in order to pass another budget for a country that... is there any significance to the United States? I've never thought about Ukraine in my life. But now it's like all over, and we're supposed to like lay our life down for Ukraine. It's not a free country, for one. So what's the difference here? What is it? What's going on? Why did Tim put these two pictures together? Because Americans feel like they're not being represented because of these people. Americans feel like no one cares about their voice. We have serious issues going on in this country. We have very serious issues. And yes, the Israel-Palestine conflict is very serious. But we have huge issues here. And our politicians, our leaders, do not care. They don't. In fact, they will actively try to make your life worse. And so this is what happens. January 6th is what happens when people just get fed up. Same with BLM riots. It's the same thing. I just wish we could come together instead of pointing the finger at each other. I wish we could come together and start looking at these politicians going, you're not actively trying to make my life better. In fact, I feel like you're just constantly stealing from me. And I feel like I am just working my way on this ladder to absolutely nowhere at this point. As you don't even know what a budget is. Why am I supposed to report my accurate earnings to the IRS? But these people, when they're asked to perform any kind of audit, they act like you're insane. You please tell me, because this is like a perfect example of what happens. So this is why I don't care about these kids. I don't care. A bunch of dumb college kids freaking out about, I remember when I was in college, people were freaking out about the rainforest. So, and they were like dying on a hill. They're freaking out about pandas. You know what I mean? So, just a bunch of dumb college kids. I'm not putting my money into it. I do worry about when I start seeing people like her on MSNBC and stuff like that, as if they're like some kind of martyrs or something. That makes me kind of concerned. But what are your thoughts on all this? Just remind you that this is the Uniparty. They don't actually care about her or January 6th or you or inflation or making your life better. They just care about the Uniparty continuing its power and for you to keep voting because you just have to. I have to vote Republican in my primary because even though it's Lindsey Graham, I can't vote for the other guy. That's what they want you to think. I feel like we are a little crescendoing a little bit for this summer. Don't you? Don't you get that same feeling? What should we do? Like, share, subscribe if you don't mind. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I got another video coming out. Thanks so much.